guess what do you feel like is the biggest thing you guys are able to accomplish during the bye week?
Well, we're able to kind of hopefully move past some of bumps and bruises that occur over, we're playing, 3/4 of the season. Well, technically 66% of the season, I guess, right? Which is good. You're getting some younger players reps. They need some more attention, some guys that maybe, are in the red shirt category, or people maybe who weren't playing as much on Saturdays, to go out there and continue to develop. You give some of the guys who've taken, a bunch of snaps every game, a little downtime. And then, of course, as an offense, as a team, you have a chance to, evaluate what you've done on film, and you can start to look at yourself, scout cut-ups, and say, hey, okay, here's what we're doing well, keep doing this. Here are things that we need to do and insert and install to continue to evolve. Here are things we've got to coach better. Here's things that we can, the techniques that we can go back and focus on. So for us to be able to do that last week and continue that this week as we get into, the specifics of our upcoming opponent, Oklahoma State, it's good. It's much needed.
You mentioned the young guys there. From the guys that maybe fans haven't seen a lot of, anyone catch your attention during the bye week when they're able to get more reps?
That's a good question. I hate to single out guys because you feel like you're leaving some out, but I think some of the guys that you see, a little bit on Saturdays have shown they continue to grow, like the Tanakas and the Dougs of the world are doing a good job. The Kevin Terrys, they maybe don't get as many reps or they're in the stat line quite much on Saturdays. You can see their growth and development. Kobe, one of our linemen there, I thought he had a great week. You know what I mean? It was good to see him get reps and start to, because he joined us so late, start to really understand and solidify what we're doing and the terminology and stuff. I mean, when you think about it, it's probably up until, just going to do some quick math in my head, because when he joined us, he basically just caught up through the course of the year the number of reps that you get, in preseason camp. So to see him do that, and again, I hate naming individuals because I feel like I leave people out, but that way, I thought Ethan Vasco, the freshman quarterback, did an awesome job, throughout the bye week. He was really good.
Brian mentioned a handful of players who he thought the bye week helped in terms of health. Is there any guys in your side of things that you feel like the bye week really helped out?
Well, not to get into specifics with individuals, but every one of them, like any of the guys who are playing a lot of reps, I mean, it's a huge deal for them to get just a little break. And it's mentally refreshing for a lot of guys too to just take a little pause. So anyone who's played significant snaps benefited from a little, not having to go for the whole normal week of preparation.
What have you seen from Oklahoma State's defensive front so far this season?
Well, their front specifically, their defensive line is outstanding. They do a really good job. I think they're really deep there. They have a lot of players that rotate a lot of guys. And as far as disruption goes, they're about as disruptive a group that we're going to face up front. And so, that'll be a challenge for us. We've got to go up there. We've got to play well. Or we have to play well in the box to go out and win the game. But certainly, they're developed. They're physical. They know what they're doing. Okay, they're disruptive. They come off the ball well. They're powerful. They got great size. It's all those tangible things that you can measure that you would look for in, a defensive line. They'd have that.
Coach, this Saturday it will be a month since you guys have played at home. Just talk to me about the preparation of being able to finally be at home, play in front of your home fans, your home turf, and how excited are you guys for that?
Well, incredibly excited. I think the last couple of games, when you talk about having home field advantage, it was true for us here, in Lawrence. And so expecting a lot of people to come out again and watch the team. I think the games and the kind of football, the brand that we're playing right now, I think it's exciting. I think it's something that people enjoy watching. And I think our guys feed off of that energy. I remember here in passing, talking through coaching, some opponents weren't prepared for the crowd noise when they came here. That's a huge deal for us. And so, see that again, another Saturday, 2 more that we have here. That's outstanding. It's awesome. It's a real deal college environment. It's awesome. It's exciting.
When you have a bye week, does that, let you maybe add any plays or work on any trick plays or anything to install?
Yeah, we install. And I probably every week I comment, and I don't want to be a broken record about how offenses have to evolve. And they do, based off of personnel, based off of matchups, based off of what's going well or not. And when you can press pause and really thoroughly evaluate what you are doing, right, on film, and see everything all together, right, from that 50,000-foot view, you can sit there and say, okay, we got to add this. We got to tweak this. We got to coach this more. We got to get more reps of this. Okay, and so there's a natural evolution that happens for sure that we're doing, that we always try to do every week. But having a bye week definitely helps do that more.
Lance said that Jalen is back practicing, and I know you guys aren't going to go too deep into that, but does he look like he's moving well and doing all kinds of things like that?
Yep. Not to get into specifics, as you know, but he's out there bopping around.
Sure.
He's doing good.
Bopping.
That's a good way to describe him, right?
I like it. Yeah.
Well, bops around.
Luke bopping around.
Do I who?
Luke.
Grim?
Yeah.
Grim bops around. He's got a little bebop in him, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're out there bopping around for sure.
We've talked about the importance of first and second down, and you've talked a lot about that, setting up success for the offense. It seemed like kind of first 4 weeks of the season, a lot of success on first down, and the kind of last four maybe slid a little bit. I guess, do you agree, and what do you feel like has contributed to not as much success on first and second downs as of late?
Well, that's a good question. When you evaluate those things, it's it comes down to your ability to execute whatever, we're trying to call in those situations. And if you can't execute, it's a combination of the right play not being called or not enough reps of things getting done correctly, And so when you look at, the things when I talk about bad football, right, and I've expressed it here, you look at, that's cost us games, right? And I think it slaps us in the face more now than ever when you start losing those games that are close. A year ago, and again, not to talk too much about the past, when you lose a game by 30-some points, in our first year here, it doesn't sting as much when you say, hey, there's the one play. That was the difference in the game. When you lose a game by one possession, it hurts a little bit more. You know what I mean? That mistake or that error, and everyone sees it, it's magnified. And so to eliminate those errors and those first and second downs to put us in just to keep moving the chains forward, that's a big deal for sure.
I don't have the specific numbers in front of me, but in terms of guys putting the ball on the ground, I think for a while it's been almost 2 per game.
Yeah, too much.
Obviously, it's concerning, I guess. Is that something you can address during the bye week? Obviously, work on practice.
We did.
How do you do that?
Yeah, well, you evaluate what are you doing, right? You to teach it, to get it burned into people's brains. You reassess how much you're doing it, right? Do we need to do more? Do you need to do it less? The drills that you're doing to teach it, the consequences for doing it, all those sort of things. You reevaluate all that stuff. And I think most importantly, you just educate everybody, right? So listen, here's it is. This is how it shows up. And unfortunately, sometimes it happens where, we really try to avoid this as teachers, is you don't want to ever have I told you so moments. But unfortunately, as we all know, it's like when you're a kid, don't touch the stove. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean, right? You need to screw it up first, and then it sinks in a little bit deeper. And that's life, right? But that's definitely college football. And to point that out, to people like, oh man, you know what I mean? I want to do more of it. And what I credit our guys the most about is any kind of mistake that we're talking about specifically, take care of the football. There's ownership between the players, the coaches. Okay, we got to do a different drill. We got to drill it more. We got to point it out. There's not a lot of shrugging shoulders and well, you know what I mean? It's not a big deal. And that's what I appreciate most about our players, that they recognize the importance of that.
Hey, Andy, on the bye week, you guys get a chance to go out and recruit. I wanted to talk about how important that is, and also, do you notice that you're being perceived different winning games?
Well, first part of your question, and get out and see individuals and prospects and kids that maybe have already committed to us, and connect with their coaches and get the chance to see them play live. It's awesome. It's fun. It's fun to see them. And the second part of your question, yeah, I think a lot of the coaches that I had a chance to interact with are very complimentary of how we're going about things and our players and the brand of football that we're playing. And I think especially from coach to coach, they appreciate that, because everyone has their struggles, everyone has their ups and downs, and the people who are super successful and hardly lose, they appreciate it and they know what it's like to stay there. And the people who are, like us in terms of changing a program and a culture, that are in the thick of it, everyone appreciates it, So I think it's good to hear it, but it's also, we're so process oriented here. It's like, We got another week. We gotta keep going. Not good enough yet. We haven't scored a point or got a yard against Oklahoma State, so we got to figure out how to do that.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it, Clark.